Hey everyone, this is Mo Twister, and you're listening to the Kingdom Podcast with the voice, DJ Yuki.
That was the OG, Mo Twister, promoting this podcast. If you like Korean pop culture, or know someone who does, then get into it, and visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at the Kingdom Pod PH.
We're proud to tell you that this is one of the premier shows to go to for your weekly dose of K-pop. So drop everything and listen to the Kingdom Podcast. Available in all your podcast streaming platforms.
Join us!
Hi, this episode is not suitable for everyone. Parental guidance is advised. We are Bunk Collective.
Welcome to your unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. And this is the MTV Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. Ayun, welcome to the podcast. And today's episode, it's my duty. Of course, it's Friday. Ba't tayo nag-antay ng ganito, ano? Yes, we're recording this episode on a Friday because inantay pa natin yung premiere ng Ring of Honor ni Tony Khan para sa kaalaman nyo. So today is the same day of Tony Khan's Ring of Honor and gusto ko bigyan agad ng impression. Gusto ko magbigay ng impression doon sa kanyang product na to. Of course, hindi tayo magiging bias. Ewan ko sa iba dyan kung ano yung magiging impression nyo. Wala akong pake. But this is my pre-review of the Ring of Honor Wrestling as Tony Khan's asset. Kasi the last time na Ring of Honor, it was on Sinclair's, right? So, the things is now on Tony Khan's hands and it's time to criticize the Ring of Honor in terms of the weekly. So, yung weekly ng Ring of Honor was 2 hours. Nag-overlap sila with the first hour of Impact Wrestling. And let's give it an impression. So I'm not going to run down the cards because it's a lot. It's 10 matches on the card. Like, I don't want 10 matches on the card. Like, for a 2-hour show, it's too much. It's too much to digest on a single basis. Like, for every week, okay, sabihin natin na NXT is doing a lot of shit for 2 hours. Raw is doing a lot for 3 hours. Then SmackDown is doing a lot on 2 hours. And then Rampage doing small work for 1 hour, which is fine for me since 1 hour lang sila eh, right? But okay, I gave it a shot. So, hindi ko na i-mention all of the matches ng ROH because there's a lot. But let's point out the main events. Main event of this week's ROH comeback. It was Claudio versus AR Fox. Like, holy shit. Why we're not getting this on TNT or TBS? That was amazing to begin. Alam mo, disappointing lang sa akin. Ito naka-paywall to eh. It costs $10. Ayoko naman lamanan yung cards ko. Kasi I'm not going to waste my $10 just for nostalgia. Kasi ito ang market nitong Honor Club, no offense to AEW or ROH fans. Honor Club is made for nostalgia to begin with, no? Yung subscription na 'to, hindi 'to kasing worth it ng WWE Network. Kasi when WWE Network was introduced, the PLEs is being televised not only on the pay-per-view, but on the WWE on the WWE Network din, right? Nag-i-stutter na ako, wala pa 5 minutes. Okay, so yung pay-per-views on that time is being televised on the WWE Network. Then suddenly, 2021 is the start of the third-party broadcasting deals, right? So andito na si Sony India. Ayun, so nagloko na naman yung audio ko. Fuck. Ulitin natin. So nung 2021, nung nag-extend si Sony Sports Network ng kanilang contract, inad na nila yung NXT at saka yung Tamil and Telugu na commentary. Ewan ko kung necessary ba yun sa mga taga-India. Pero I don't know rin. Di ko kayang husgahan kasi it's their own language. Like, we can watch on one language. Indians, most likely, they can watch it on one language. Then, ayan. Sige. Let's close it. Then, yung Peacock deal na nga, na infamous Peacock deal that was introduced in 2021. Okay? So, everything was changed. Like, the network is on Peacock now. The network is now closed for the pay-per-view subscribers and or the US subscribers. And then now, they are dealing with Peacock now. Like there's a lot of commercials, like there's a lot of cons about the Peacock, but they have to deal with it. And now this thing is spreading throughout the world. Australia, bench, lalo na tong Indonesia and Philippines, Philippines via Disney Plus. Then sa MENA, ayan, inulit na naman natin yung kwento natin nung November na under Shahid. Marami pang ibang countries yan. Yung South Africa is now owning a WWE network. Then, and yun, marami factors why subscriptions is always big deal. No? Siyempre, package dapat yan. Ayokong sirain yung mindset na, sige, air tayo ng PPVs o tsaka yung weekly na naka-bundle. Okay, I'm not going to toss an argument with that. Na, sige, pagsama-samahin na natin yung Raw, SD, NXT. Hindi ko na gagawin. Basta ang importante kasi, ito sa Ring of Honor na to. Ewan ko saan ako nakarating. From the Ring of Honor, napunta na ako sa ibang platform, no? It's funny to throw that relatable stuff. Pero sige, let's bring the Ring of Honor stuff. Na I'm paying $10. Ano yung makukuha ko sa $10 besides the weekly? No? Wala eh. Parang the $10, I'm paying $10 for nostalgia. Bonus na lang yung current events. Yun na yun eh. Pero sige, if ikaw, isa kang Ring of Honor na solid fan, na since 2002, you're watching Ring of Honor. Sige, I will give you a shot on that. Worth it yun. Para sa mga fans na yun. Sobrang solid fans ng Ring of Honor. But I don't think, on the long run, magiging worth it yung $10. Just para lang mag-subscribe ka sa Honor Club. Para lang mapanood mo yung latest episodes ng ROH Wrestling. Pero sige. Kung mag-subs kayo, hindi ko kayo pipilitin doon. Kasi si pay-per-views ng ROH, according to Tony Khan himself, the pay-per-views will stay on Bleacher Report. And then 90 days after of the pay-per-view airing, saka siya ilalagay doon sa Bleacher. Ay sa platform, Honor Club. Ewan ko ang bummer niya for me na maghahantay ka pa ng 90 days. Like, pwede pang i-on demand na lang yun. Like, putya, 90 days is too much. Yung yung Impact Wrestling, meron silang YouTube na subscription. Like, yung mga pay-per-views nila, 30 days lang ang tinatagal bago i-upload on YouTube and then available na siya doon sa mga Impact subscribers. Yung tig 130 dito. Ewan ko, 130 pa rin siya. Pero worth it na yun eh. Sa totoo lang. Kasi they are subscribing for less and we're getting more. Right? Pero maganda rin naman. So, let's see, coming weeks, if magiging worth it ba yung first month ng Ring of Honor Wrestling sa TV. Honor Club. Pinalampas ko lang to ah. I'm going to let this slide for now. Pero sige, I will give it 4 weeks para sige, bigyan natin ng hatol. Sa tingin ko ba, worth it yun? Yun ang malalaman nyo in the next 4 weeks. Habang tumatagal yung transition ng ROH, sige, bigyan natin ng sagot yun. And then after of the match between Claudio and AR Fox, there's Eddie Kingston who left the company, AEW, kayfabe, of course. Then he confronted Claudio and he challenged him for the ROH title. And Claudio actually rejected the challenge. Is this funny too much? Hindi. Nalaman natin couple of weeks kasi we're getting this match most likely sa Supercard na. Since Supercard is coming after nito, mga 4 weeks pa, March 31st. And then parang they're building up the whole thing na 4 weeks dito lang sa Ring of Honor Club. And they taped it all. As far as I know, they taped it all. Pero yeah, sabi ko nga, I'll give it a shot. At least 4 weeks. If this Honor Club thing fails, well, wala na. Hindi ko na isasama to sa weekly topics natin sa podcast. So, since 10 minutes na tayo nag-uusap-usap dito about Ring of Honor, welcome to the show. So, this is the MP Show Podcast, a wrestling podcast. And on the first 10 minutes of this podcast, we are discussing Ring of Honor. Yes. Mamaya, happy-awan pa natin before we end the show, no? So, let's talk about AEW Revolution now. So, since re-recap din naman natin yung nangyari ng tawag dito. I-recap natin yung mga nangyari sa Dynamite. But before that, please follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms at the MP Show Pod. Again, that's THEMPGSOSHOW. I am watching already. The MP Show Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and on Facebook. Don't forget to follow that on social media platforms. My bad. I'm botching today. What's wrong with me, man? Inom nga lang ako ng tubig kasi I'm botching a lot today. It's not good for me. Okay, let's do the recap for Revolution. We're going to start this podcast with, okay, so there's a Face of Revolution ladder match. Okay, I'm going to say this straightforward. The match is fine. The match is fine for me. Sabihin ko maayos yung execution nito. And Tony Khan putting this match on Dynamite is fine with me. At least para sa akin fine yun. Kasi parang ang formula kasi niya ngayon is since ando na nga yung 60-minute Iron Man match ni MJF sa Revolution, which is we're going to talk about that later on. Para sa kanila, ang haba na 60 minutes na nga yan. So, impress na lang ni Tony Khan yung cards as soon as possible. Like, currently we have 8 matches on the card. Wala nang pwedeng paglagyan ng iba pa. There's impossible way to add more matches on the card. Unless is a fucking idiot to add more matches on the card. Right? Okay. So, let's discuss this a little bit. Hindi ko natandaan kung sino-sino yung mga nag-compete doon sa ladder match. But it's fine for me that Powerhouse Hobbs won the whole thing. I thought in a bit that si Konosuke Takeshita na yung mananalo. But it's fine din naman. If you ask me, I'm fine with Hobbs winning the ladder match. Pag-uusapan natin yung kalahati ng thoughts ko when we predicted Revolution. Kasi medyo there's a contradict pagka pinag-usapan na natin yung predictions eh. But for now, I would say sana yung Tyro match na to ni Hobbs hindi na lang siya hindi lang hindi naka-fix yung magiging Tyro match niya on a date, no? Mas maganda sana kung pwede kang mag-cash in anytime, anywhere. At hindi naka-fix. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng Tyro change, come Revolution, magko-contradict lahat. Tama. And it's bad. If you ask me, it's bad. Pero yeah, I'll give it a slide for now. And we're going to talk about more matches on the show. So first, hindi ko na itatako yung kina Riho at Tony Storm, but it's a really good match if you ask me on this week's Dynamite. It was a fun match, although ito tayo sa although na naman tayo. Ewan ko, why we're still continuing this Saraya bullshit thing? Like, ewan ko no offense sa mga kaibigan kong fan ng women's wrestling. But I feel so bad for all of the competitors who is part of this storyline. Like, the execution is dull. That's all. Yun na yun. The storyline is dull. Like, they can't even fucking execute the storyline. The only MVPs of this storyline so far is Saraya and Tony Storm. Wala nang iba. Si Jamie Heater, she's still focused on the Tyro. And then si Brit, given naman, she's the lucky after all. Tapos parang ang bobo eh. Ang pangit niya for me. Like, scrap this whole damn thing. It sucks. It's bad. It's bad. To be honest, it's bad in the first place. Then why Tony Khan is still playing with this? It sucks. Ewan ko Pero it's someone who actually loves this storyline. I swear to God, you have to convince me why they are loving the storyline. Pero wala eh. Nagtatanong ako sa mga kaibigan kong women's wrestling fans, kung bakit nila nagustuhan tong match na to. Hindi nila ako ma-convince. I swear to God, there's some people who tried to convince me to deal with this stuff. I can't. And I hate it. Because I'm trying to deal with this. Ganun ba kahirap yun? And hindi naman kasalanan ng mga girls yun. To be fair, it's not on them. It's on TK's writing. So it's bad. Okay. Continue pa natin. So we have the final Casino Battle Royale for the tag team titles this Sunday. Obviously, Orange Cassidy and Danhausen won the damn thing. Ewan ko Pero this thing doesn't make sense. This thing doesn't make sense at all. Like, I hate this. Okay. Tony Khan is given. Tony Khan loves Orange Cassidy. But why are they giving Orange Cassidy everything? Like, okay na yun eh. Meron na siyang All-Atlantic Championship. Sure. Hindi naman siya ganong big deal sa TV right now. But why are we giving this guy a lot of everything? Like, it's dumb. Ayoko na. Okay na yun eh. Okay na yung Atlantic Tyro eh. Pero okay naman. Sige, mamaya pag-usapan natin yung predictions ko about this sa Revolution. Last thing, okay. Give it a shot. Yung MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Awang ko ubos na talaga yung faith ko dito kay MJF as promo talker, ganyan. Ubos na yung faith ko sa kanya. Kasi, man, wala na. Yung feud na to, alam nyo, 95% personal life niya, 5% Brian Danielson. I know it's dumb. Wala eh. AEW loves to book dumb storylines in the first place. But I don't know why they're doing this. Why they keep doing this? Like, I know this is coming Sunday, but I wish this thing will end on Sunday with a Brian Danielson. Then I would love to see it. Then, sige, I gave it a shot. Ewan ko bakit marami natuwa dito sa promo to. Like, this is dumb. But yeah, I gave it Brian this time, the credit. Kasi, siya yung kumain ng promo time na to. I love how they are exchanging blows and wondering. MJF is just cowering on the ramp about during this promo. And then, yun na, parang he mentioned this X. Then, yeah, parang, okay, I'll give it a shot. But, yeah, it was, kung ito na yung last time that we're going to see MJF as AEW World Champion, then congratulations. You just made the worst AEW championship run ever in this fucking company. I swear. Kasi he owns the worst AEW title. And Tony Khan, fun fact, is countering this to Roman Reigns. Naka-counter ba nila si Roman Reigns? No. I don't think he can counter Roman Reigns when it comes to this. But yeah, it's first defense. Usapan natin yung predictions pa in the bet. No? But yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. But I wish this feud will end as soon as possible. And ayaw ko sabihin na, why we're doing this? It's the okay, wala na talaga akong faith dito sa AEW title run ni MJF. I don't actually think at this point MJF is a long-term champion. Diba? I don't think, to be honest, that this MJF, he will keep this shit. I can say na he is no longer a long-term champion because ulit-ulit na naman sasabihin nito, okay, gawin mo to, ganyan. Di ba nagsasawa dyan sa streak mo? Right? Di ba nagsasawa dyan sa streak mo? And I hate it. When it comes to MJF, like, for fuck's sake, just drop the title to Brian Danielson and we're done. And we're done talking about it. Like, putang, I'm done with this. Like, give us something new, TK. Okay. So, in the bet, we're going to do the predictions of AEW Revolution. Napahaba na yung intro ko. So, hindi na ako nag-intro. Nag-intro ako konti lang. So, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the predictions for this year's Revolution. And then we're going to tackle everything WWE plus the preview of NXT Roadblock. Sasabihin ko sana deadline because it's on the script that I'm writing right now. So NXT Roadblock. We're going to do a preview of that as well. And yeah, we're going to take a short break and let's check our bunkmates on Bunk Collective.
Picture this. Two guys talking about true crime,
weird mysteries,
horror stories,
but the conversation is light
and mostly funny.
And sometimes naughty.
This is Scriptsalog,
a Spotify exclusive.
I'm Gideon.
And I'm Glenn, and we're serving huge portions of horror and true crime twice a week.
We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied.
And you'll be begging for more.
Char.
Check us out.
This is Scriptsalog, available exclusively on Spotify.
Sales, profit, and engagement na naman ang usapan. Hey guys, Matt and Lance here. Corporate guys rin kami at pagod na rin kami sa ganyang usapang office. Ibahin naman natin ang mga kausap natin. Listen to guests from careers beyond the corporate scene with the Project Offbeat Career Podcast. Imagine talking to historians, gamers, teachers, and the like on how they live differently and succeed in their unconventional careers. Baka sakali, ito naman ang sign to pursue your passions. Kita-kits sa Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
Okay, so welcome back to the podcast. I think this is better now. Okay, so let's do the recap of the predictions. Mamaya na tayo mag-predict before we go to the third half. Okay, so let's do our WWE talk before that. Okay, so this week on SmackDown, or last week I would say, naka-continue na yung storyline between the Usos, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. Wala na si Roman sa picture because obviously Sami lost at the Elimination Chamber. We talk about that in couple episodes. Kasi sabi ko na ang beses sinabi. Sami Zayn will never win this match in any way. And ano bang reason para manalo si Sami? Wala, di ba? Like in the first place, Sami Zayn is not going to win this world title. But okay, let's continue. Nakahaba na naman yung argument ko. Ayun. So, they're continuing the storyline of this tag team title match at WrestleMania. Like, nag-continue lang basically yung argument. And Roman is still looking for Jay on this week's SmackDown. So, basically, doon na umikot yung buong episode. And, yun. Parang, okay. I can miss this show to be honest. But this week's SmackDown is not a miss. So, Cody Rhodes, for the first time in 7 years, who will make his appearance on SmackDown. So, making this show a must-see, to be honest. And, continue natin. So, si Dominic Mysterio, on the women's counterpart of this Royal Rumble, siya yung gumagawa ng dirty work for Rhea. I don't know it's good or it's bad. Kasi sa totoo lang, I'm fine with Dom doing the bad work here. Like, Dominic is the most over guy when it comes to heels in WWE right now. So there's Logan Paul, there's Omos. We're going to talk about Omos by the way later on. Then there's Dominic. Like Dominic is there, will always be the guy who you must hate. I don't know, but they mentioned Andrade without mentioning him. And everyone was shook on that one. And yeah, I love that one. So, let's continue this way, okay? But bringing Dominic to the picture doesn't make Rhea Ripley her Parang ang take ko lang na lang dito. Sana naman, pagsolohin niyo yung dalawa. Like Rhea Ripley can face to face with Charlotte one-on-one. It doesn't need Dom or any members of Judgment Day for his battles or her battle. Like, putang ina. Why we're inserting Dominic in the picture? Like, Dominic is on his way to feud with his father. Then now we're getting this bullshit. Like, come on. We're not wasting time for WrestleMania. I hope this week magkaroon na ng gatong itong feud na to with Dom tsaka ni Ray. Yun din nag-face off din sila on SmackDown, Cross defeating Rey Mysterio. And yeah, they gotta face off. Dominic wants Ray to punch him in the face. Unfortunately for Ray, hindi niya sinuntok si Dom. Ewan ko kung ano yung nagpapaagam-agam sa kanya. And I don't know what's wrong lately with this guy. Like, like, Ray, punch him in the fucking face. Wala akong mawawala sa'yo. Punch him and you're done. Like, settle this thing at WrestleMania. It's very given. But can you please punch your own son in the fucking face? Baka mag-iba yung tono ni Dom pagkatapos nun. Tapos mag-brawl sila every week until WrestleMania. No? Okay, let's go to Raw now. And naggawa na ako ng TikTok video about this. I know this is audio TikTok. But yeah, I will give a thought on this. Kasi kailangan eh. Right? I said on the TikTok video that I post days ago that that's fine that we're getting Brock versus Omos in the first place. Like, this is not a bad idea. No. But according to some dirt shits, I'm saying the word dirt shits because we did. According to some dirt shits, specifically PW Insider, I think they are the one who brought this news. Na yung first thing na pinitch for Brock was a Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt. And apparently, Brock Lesnar is the one who turned this one down. Like, I don't know, be honest to begin with. Kung ako si Brock Lesnar, I will turn this down if you ask me. Kasi it's a Bray Wyatt match. Like, putang ina. Yung ginagawa nila kay Lashley right now. It sounds dumb na. Paano pa if that's on the case of Brock Lesnar? Ang basura. Na may pag-usapan natin if pinag-usapan na natin yung kina Bray and Lashley. But yeah, the Brock Omos, if tatanungin nyo ako, it's gonna be fine. Big deal siya kasi andito yung possible reformation ng Hurt Business. So, if they're going to put this on the second night, it's gonna be huge. If you ask me, this thing will bring me back to 2007. Like Great Khali, he defeated Kane in a short time in a match at WrestleMania, and they treated Ali on that time one of the most son of a bitches in the business. So, almost beating Brock Lesnar will be great for me. And malaking bagay yun for him. Plus, given na rin na Brock Lesnar is on a lose since Crown Jewel. Losing streak na siya no. So, yeah, it's very given for me na kailangan mag-bounce ni Brock. And to do this Brock thing, or to do this bounce back, he has to win over Omos, right? I'm contradicting that too much. Pero at the same time, on the way they're bringing up the idea, which brings me to this information that we got last time, na this match was influenced by the old guy in the name of Vince McMahon. Like, okay, sure. Nagjajakol ka pa din sa mga malalaking tao. And Triple H is just here to bring you that match. Like, Papa, ito na yung dish na gusto mo. Then, pinagbigyan ka lang, ganyan. And we're getting that match at WrestleMania. Like what I said on TikTok, na, okay, this is not a bad idea to begin with. And sana lang, ang match na to, mag-lead talaga into a Hurt Business reformation. Kahit anong mga match to, ito, o yung kina Bray Wyatt at saka kay Lashley, I hope this thing will lead to a reformation of Hurt Business. And I would love to see that. To be honest, Brock and Bray Wyatt teaming up will never happen. Brock and Lashley teaming up will never happen in the first place. But there's a lot of signs that Brock might take a leave of absence right after WrestleMania. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Mas maniniwala ako when I see it, actually. Right? Then, okay. We got some matches, really good matches on this week's Raw. We got Chad Gable versus Cody Rhodes. Alam nyo ba na they're pushing, according to some sources, si WWE ay natutuwa kay Chad Gable right now. So, they're going to give him a lot of matches and he is planned for a big push. Like, aalisin na siya sa Alpha Academy or they're going to disband Alpha Academy to execute this thing and to convert Chad as a serious competitor. Then si Otis ay mag stay as a comedic character. To be fair, magandang addition si Otis sa Maximum Male Models. Mukha siyang weirdo na idea. But it works as a comedic stuff. Like, it's working to begin with. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen next when Otis officially joins the stable. Ang ayaw ko lang mangyari, sana hindi mag-split in a way na try rin kita, I want to leave the stable. I'm done with you. You can go away and join them. Like, sana may peaceful pa rin. Peace pa rin si Gable tsaka si Otis before they split up leading up to this push by Triple H kay Chad Gable. Okay. So, ano pa ba? Kailangan natin pag-usapan. So, we have The Miz is hosting the WrestleMania this year. Oh, The Miz just announced himself as the host of WrestleMania. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with it. Wala naman ng ganong complaint. Given naman na he's from Hollywood, yun lang naman yung contradict natin. Why we're getting this Miz hosting thing. Like, okay, I'll give it a shot na siya yung magiging host ng WrestleMania na to. I hope na hindi siya mag-The Rock dito. I swear to God, I'm going to punch everyone in the face if he does. Or kung may magiging role siya sa WrestleMania, aside from hosting, then that will be stupid. Sorry, din nagpipitch sa mic ko. Okay. So, if The Miz is there for a role, like something Rock Cena thing, that will be stupid for me, if you ask me, right? So, speaking of Cena, Cena is set to return on March 7 or 6 episode of Raw. This next week na yun. It's gonna be a lot of things to unpack next week. Panigurado na yan here on the podcast. Yun. Then, finally, we're going to talk about this week. Aside from the Bray Wyatt stuff, Trish Stratus made her return on Raw. Plus, Lita and Becky Lynch just won the women's title. I-TikTok ka sana to, kaso nawala yung file ng TikTok video ko. So, I have to cancel it. So, Lita and Becky Lynch won the women's title. And Trish Stratus made her return on Raw as well. So, yeah, I'm fine with the win. I don't see this as a shorter run. And I don't see this match, to be honest, as a tawag ba dito? Transitional championship run. Pero sana hindi. Kasi Ronda and Shayna are chasing for weeks. Like, they want the women's tag titles. And I don't want this thing to happen. I don't want this to happen. Like, it's a nightmare for me. If nangyari yun, that will be a nightmare. Okay, let's continue stuff with the Bray Wyatt thing. So, I'm fine with Lita and Trish. Lita, Trish, and Becky teaming up at WrestleMania versus the Damage Control. Then, injured si Dakota as far as I know. So, losing to the three would be great. At the same time, defending the titles at WrestleMania would be fine for me. Oh, tingin na natin bago tayo mag-pray. Then, personally, ayun, nagtigay na naman ako. Aside doon, kina Ronda at Shayna, eligible opponents, personally, would be 2 KC. Sila Casey Catanzaro or si Katana Chance, tsaka si Kaden Carter. That will be great for a main roster, your typical title change after WrestleMania. Then, that would be great for me. Imagine pinning Becky Lynch on your first night. That will be great. But yeah, that's great for me. And the last thing we need to talk about on this week's WWE is this Bray Wyatt thing. So, Bray Wyatt just introduced this new Firefly Funhouse. Basically, he recapped everything what he said on SmackDown days ago. Di ko na nga itatako isa-isa. Kasi sabihin ko sa inyo, I'm I'm good with this promo. In fairness, so far on his return, ito yung pinaka nagustuhan ko. Sana lang hindi ito mag-lead sa isa na namang sponsored match. Like, I'm tired of seeing the Disney Plus broadcast on how they broadcasted that one. But yeah, it's a bummer. And we have to deal with this come WrestleMania. I hope this is just a temporary feud and hindi umabot sa Mania because kung ito ay yung sagot nila sa feud ng Impact between Joe Hendry and Moose, I will never forget that. Because I love that feud. On the way they introduced the feud on Impact was so natural. Like, Joe Hendry, kilala naman natin as a clown character na nagwo-work out sa crowd. Imagine this bringing on the WWE programming. Then that will be great in my opinion. Mas maganda siguro dala yun. Imagine Moose replaced by Lashley. Then this thing will be introduced on the WWE programming. That would be great. And siguro nga baka over na nga si Joe Hendry ngayon sa crowd. Dahil dito sa mga ganitong spoof niya sa show. No? Ganito yung gusto ko when it comes. However, Bray Wyatt, when this thing was introduced on Raw, this brings me to the Impact feud. And I didn't like how they are bringing this feud on their table. And it's shit. Wala, parang nababasuraan ako. Sayang. And given naman it's Bray Wyatt so far, wala pang malinis na feud si Bray Wyatt sa comeback niya. And meh. Parang wala. Ayoko lang talaga sa character niya so far. And yung return na to, sobrang flop. I would say it's a flop so far. Then, okay. So, last day before we go to our previews, back-to-back previews and predictions for next week. Natitigan. So far, ang categories ko, yung picks ko for the week is the Corbin. Gable versus Cody. At saka yung ladder match. I swear, you need to watch it. Magbabago to sa Revolution. Pag nalapag na yung Revolution review, since it's a Monday. So, yeah, not surprised. I'm going to do another, except the week on a Monday. So, yeah, that will be great for all of us. No? But, yeah, that's it for our WWE review. We're going to take another commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to do the AEW Revolution predictions and preview, plus yung NXT Roadblock predictions and preview as well. And yeah, I'm so pissed on talking about Bray Wyatt on this show. Ayoko na nga sana pag-usapan, but I have to. But yeah, so let's check our bunkmates on Bunk Collective.
Annyeong, we are One to Sarang,
your next favorite Hallyu podcast.
We talk K-drama.
Mandaming kilig every time
oh my God.
K-drama.
We also talk K-pop.
Yung feeling ko sa 17 na they bring me so much happiness.
And we live to entertain.
What you gonna do when Dicky steak in front of
Check us out now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Also on YouTube. Join us sa Tawanan at Kwentuhan from One to Sarang.
Cinephiles is back, now in season 4.
For real?
For real.
Cinephiles is a film review podcast made by self-proclaimed cinephiles.
For self-proclaimed film lovers. Or kahit hindi, you do you, boo.
So come visit our cinema lobby when you can and listen to our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast.
Okay, so let's do the predictions for Revolution first. So Revolution is set for Monday, March 6, March 5 in the United States. Tama ba ang kalendaryo ko? Yeah, it's March 6. Yung Monday yon. So it will be televised on Premier Sports Channel 272 on Signal, and check your local providers. Also available on Tap Go. Again, not sponsored ito, but yeah, baka naman. Okay, let's do the predictions for this year's Revolution pay-per-view. First thing, we have Christian versus Jack Perry. Yun, Jack Perry. Hindi ko na siya tatawagin na Jungle Boy kasi medyo ina-explicit na siya as Jack Perry on TV more. In a no-holds-barred match. Like, okay. Sana natapos na to nung na-injure si Christian. I know they're picking bones here, but I hope this is gonna be the last match on their feud and just fold this feud already. Everyone is tired of this feud already. Everyone is tired of this shit. Like, fold this fucking feud. Okay, so I'm going to give Jack Perry the win here. And please fold this feud already. Fold this shit. Okay, next match on the card. We have Chris Jericho versus Ricky Starks with JS. Originally, dapat everyone is banned from ringside. Feeling ko, may heel turn si... I forgot his name. Action Liberty, but I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But feeling ko, this guy, most likely, he will turn heel on Ricky Starks. And maybe he will join JES. So, it's funny, but yeah, that's the reality here. Baka si Jericho pa yung manalo dito sa match to fold this feud. And since drop pa naman sila, Ricky Starks defeated Jericho the first time. So, feeling ko Jericho might win. But yeah, I'm not hoping na Action will join JS. Then man, please fold JS for fuck's sake. We don't need this table anymore. Okay. Then we have John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match. I don't know, but Mox doesn't need the win. Hindi niya kailangan ng win ngayon. But it says na Hangman needs the win more than John Moxley does. But I'm going to give the upper hand kay Mox when it comes kasi siya yung mas madaming Texas death match kumpara kay Hangman. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen. And still hoping na baka manalo din si Hangman. But I'm going to give my predictions to Hangman. Yeah. Then, here comes the title matches now. Kasi marami pang madadagdag dito, most likely by Rampage. So, we're going to predict the matches that was announced last night until today. So, yun. Let's start with the Elite versus House of Black. Yeah, so, for the Trios title, para sa akin lang, hindi pa ganong mahaba yung reign ng The Elite. The only notable stuff that I noticed so basically yung Trios best of 7. Tapos ito na nga yung itong matches nila versus AR Fox Top Flight. Para sa akin, bitin pa ako. So, winning and retaining the titles in any way, I would say, personally, gusto ko manalo sila yung Elite. Pero my heart says, it's time for a change and give the fucking titles to House of Black. Simple. Then, so we have Samoa Joe versus Wardlow for the TNT Championship. Like what I said on the show earlier, the winner of this thing will face Powerhouse Hobbs Wednesday after Revolution. I don't know why ito yun yung sinasabi kong contradict. I don't like na dinedetermine nila yung date of the Tyro defense ng mga nananalo ng Face of Revolution. Sana na naman, yung winner na lang ng Face of Revolution, yung papiliin nyo ng date. Kung kailan nila makukuha yung Tyro shot. Like, example, if Wardlow wins the match, tapos gusto ko i-root si Hobbs, edi automatic talo rin si Hobbs dito. Right? Medyo logical. Pero kung i-retain to ni Samoa Joe, then tatalunin siya ni Hobbs, edi okay lang for me. But I don't think it's gonna be a pasapasahan moment. Na like, Joe will win, Wardlow will win on Sunday, then Wednesday, the-drop siya kay Hobbs. I don't think this gonna be happening. I don't think this thing will happen. Unless Samoa Joe will retain, then Wednesday, since it's on, he's still on turf, I think, hometown, tama ba? Hometown niya pa rin to eh. Then, si Hobbs will win the title in front of his hometown. And that will be great, to be honest. Right? But, it's hard to predict, but I have to pick Samoa Joe here para lang medyo maganda yung pasahan versus kay Hobbs pagdating ng Wednesday sa Dynamite. Then that will be great for me. Okay. Then we have Saraya and Ruby Soho challenging Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. Personally, it says Saraya, but deep inside, I want Ruby Soho to win. Kasi, I don't know, yung feud na to between AEW homegrown at saka yung mga tagalabas, they can feud it, they can continue it without the titles. Or even without Jade Cargill, and they can still run this shit off. No? Then, ito, Ruby Soho, winning the title will be great for me, but feeling ko Saraya will win. Pinning Soho without pinning Jamie Hayter. Then Jamie Hayter will regain the title in the UK event. Kung ano mang UK event yung mangyayari sa AEW this year. Meron akong feeling na gano'n. Baka mangyari. Then, ayan. So, I'm feeling that Ruby Soho might win the title. Or, for now, Jamie Hayter din. Pero, feeling ko it's a Saraya win. But, my heart says Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho needs the title more rather than the two. And the feud doesn't need titles to begin with. Right? Okay. So, it's a 4-way. The Guns defending the titles against the Acclaimed, Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. To be honest, this title needs a elimination format. Oh, but this match lacks something. Like, put some elimination format on it. Like, kung may elimination format to, okay. So, OC and Danhausen, then the Acclaimed, tapos Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Baliktad. Kasi heels nga pala sila, the Guns. Okay, so OC and Danhausen, Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, tapos Acclaim, eliminations, then Guns will retain. Pero feeling ko it's time for retain. I hope this is a transitional reign for the Guns. Hindi ko din na-feel that FTR will win the tag titles for now. But yeah, I feel this is a must win for Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, Team TNA. And that will be great for me, if you ask me. Just for nostalgia, man. Give the titles to both of these guys. Then that will be great for me, to be honest. But for real, I want the Guns to retain. The main event, MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. This thing is simple. I want Bryan Danielson to win. I have no faith on MJF. Give this title on him. Please reset all of the storylines. And let this shit MJF thing get over it. Gusto ko na mawala yung storyline to. I'm tired with this shit. Give us something new. Give us, I hope, na this thing will lead to something big to AEW. And maybe this feud or this title of giving to Bryan Danielson will be the start of new something to AEW. And that will be great for me personally. Right? Imagine Bryan Danielson versus Moxley. Ulit. Kaso ulit na naman. Pero feeling ko kasi, at some point, if BD wins the title, siya yung unang masisipa sa BCC. Then, that will be a Bryan Danielson versus John Moxley feud at some point. Probably double or nothing. Basta walang MJF sa picture, okay na sa akin yun. Basta walang MJF sa picture, okay na sa akin yun. I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm good. My system is fucking me up once again. So, my apologies for that. But, yeah, I don't need a MJF win for this Monday's Revolution. And I'm still hoping for that. Yan, let me know your predictions for this year's Revolution on all of the social media platforms at the MTG Show Pod and on our poll later on Twitter and on probably sa Spotify. We're going to do a poll for AEW Revolution. You can watch AEW Revolution this Monday, 8 a.m. if may 0 hour on Premier Sports Channel 272 on Signal, as well as Top Go TV and local providers. You can check all of your local providers for the channel listings. You can check out Premier Sports. Also available on Fight TV, $20 if you want na walang watermark yung pinapanood mo for the AEW Revolution. But yeah, let's go to NXT real quick. So, 2 matches na notable for this week's NXT. That's Nathan Fraser versus Wesley and Carmelo Hayes versus Tyler Bate. Both of the matches are fucking amazing if you ask me. If there's something you guys need to watch from NXT, you should watch this match. Plus, Tiffany Stratton is now calling her shot for the NXT Women's Championship. Whoever wins the title match next week at Roadblock, siguro most likely siya na yung magiging challenger for Stand and Deliver. So it's time to discuss now the predictions for NXT Roadblock. Roadblock will take place Wednesday here in the Philippines, March 7. Yeah, March 7, March 8 here in the Philippines. So it's time to do our preview for NXT Roadblock. First thing is Indoshare, Jinder Mahal, Sangha, and Veer versus Braun Breaker and the Creeds. Personally, gusto ko manalo pa yung Indoshare. Pero feeling ko it's gonna be a revenge season for Braun Breaker and the Creeds. No, that would be great if Jinder will continue his dominance. And Indoshare, personally, feeling the Creeds will be fine for me. It's not a bad idea to begin with. But yeah, Indoshare will win, I hope. Then ito, former best friends, stablemates, now enemies. JC Jane versus Gigi Dolin. If you watch the whole promos of both women, I will give the edge dito kay JC. Kay Gigi. Pero ang problema ko kasi, nagmukha kasing problematic yung promo. They're bringing something to the table. Like, I know this is personal, but bring some unnecessary stuff in this storyline. Just like what I'm saying on the MJF thing. Doesn't make the story great. No? And this one of examples. This thing, hindi ito magiging maganda if you're going to continue the cliche of bringing personal feuds to stories like this. Like, this is meh. Like the MJF one. And I will continue this on the GG and JC. Sana nag-stick na lang kayo on the storyline when JC betrayed Gigi Dolin in the first place. Like, stick with it. I'm okay with that. But regardless, I feel that JC Jane might get the win first. on her first shot. Yeah, feeling ko JC will win. Then, Andre Chase versus Joe Gacy in a match. Saying tired of match. But yeah, feeling ko Joe Gacy might get the win kasi he needs the win more rather than Andre Chase. Then, Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo in a jailhouse street fight. The only way to get the win is by putting your opponent inside the cage and slamming it on. And yeah, no pinfalls, no submissions. It's basically put your opponent inside the cage. Simple as that. Ah, although I feel that Dijak needs the win more, and I hope Tony D is on his way out of the NXT. Kailangan niya na rin mag-main roster. Eto. Finally, main event. Roxanne Perez versus Tita Meiko Satomura for the NXT Women's Championship. This is an obvious one, but I'm sure we're going to get a fantastic match. I'm going to bet on Roxanne Perez. Then after the match, most likely, ma-official na yung Roxanne versus Tiffany for Stand and Deliver. And personally, Roxanne Perez needs the build more rather than Tita Meiko. Like, Tita Meiko doesn't need to prove herself on the fans, especially on the 2.0, 3.0 fans and this circle. So yeah, I'm going to give my predictions to Roxanne Perez retaining her NXT Women's Championship. So yeah, let me know your predictions on this week's or next week's NXT Roadblock by following on our social media platforms. Social media platforms at the MTG Show Pod. Before we get the fuck out of here, let's do our picks. Okay. So our wrestler of the week this week is Sami Zayn. Ewan ko, parang dumadami na yung nagiging record na si Sami dito. Then the woman of the week is Asuka from this week's Raw. And then the match of the week is Moose versus Joe Hendry. Di ko tanda yung stipulation. Basta the match took place at No Surrender 2023. That was a fun match if you ask me. yung pagsayaw yung parang na mind game si Moose ulit. Nag-play yung music, tapos biglang puta mo. That was amazing. Holy shit. That was a basic impact win for me. Ayan, so follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms at the MTG Show Pod. Please follow us on social media on all of the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and on YouTube at the MTG Show Pod. Don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/at the MTG Show Pod. Yan. You can donate and support the podcast on Junk and Patreon, junknow.com or patreon.com/the MTG Show Pod. As low as $1 a month, you can access to our subscriber-only content, plus our premium live event pay-per-view reviews. On Monday as well, we're going to release a Revolution pre-podcast review on our Patreon. So our patrons can read our first thoughts on the premium live event as well. You can join our discussions. More to come really soon. And yeah, for more podcasts, visit thebunkph.com. Support us on all of the socials at thebunkph. Yan, join our Discord server for more discussion. All of the links is on description. dsc.gg/bunk. The podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the rest of the podcast platforms. You can rate the podcast as well. 5 stars, 6 in Tokyo Dome. And all of the links is available, by the way. linktr.ee/the MTG Show Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AGPenera. And yun, they support our local wrestling scene. First MWF on Gank. Yun, malapit na yung first tapings which is the MWF Kasaysayan. Ayun, This Sunday na yon in Quezon City. You can watch everything on Gank once na i-upload na yon ng MWF. And yung parating na Chili Willy Cup, ipapalabas din dito sa Gank. Also, please support AEW for their upcoming tapings on March 26 sa Power Mac in Quezon City. So, yun. The tickets is available. Ticket to me. Check nyo na lang yung social media ng both MWF and AEW for their upcoming shows. But, yeah. That's it for me. Follow all of the socials. AG Penera personal accounts on our podcast at the MTG Show Podcast. We will be back next week for our Revolution podcast review. Hindi ko alam if ito ay magiging solo podcast or magiging with guest kasi I'm planning a with guest podcast. So it's gonna be the first podcast with guest this year. Still hoping that. Well, sana manifest matuloy yung podcast with guest na yun. So we're going to bring someone on the table next week. Didighay na naman ako. So, yeah, that's it for our this week's episode of the podcast. See ya next week for our fallout for Revolution 2022 only here on Spotify and the rest of the podcast platforms. But remember, stay safe and stay reso. See ya on the next episode of the MTG Show Podcast in cooperation with Bong Collective. Yes, see ya on the next one. Bye-bye.
Please rate the podcast 5 stars 6 in Tokyo Dome on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We are Bunk Collective.